My name is Elizabeth Peters. I am 67 years old, and I want to tell you about the day I stopped being a ghost in my own family. Before we proceed, thank you for watching Her Voice Narrative. Please subscribe and tell us where you are watching from in the comment section. It started like every other Mother's Day for the past 5 years. I woke up at 6 in the morning even though I had nowhere to be. Old habits die hard. For 30 years I woke up early to make breakfast for my kids before school. Now they are grown with families of their own and I still wake up at 6. I made myself coffee. The house was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that makes you hear your own heartbeat. I sat at the kitchen table with my phone right next to my cup. I stared at that phone for 2 hours straight. The screen stayed black. No calls. No messages. Nothing. My daughter Maria is 42. She lives 20 minutes away from me. 20 minutes. My son Timothy is 39. He lives across town. About 30 minutes if traffic is bad. Neither of them called. I told myself maybe they would come by. Maybe they were planning a surprise. So I got dressed. I put on the blue dress Maria always said looked nice on me. I did my hair. Put on a little makeup. I even baked cookies. Those chocolate chip ones Timothy loved when he was little. The ones he used to steal from the cooling rack before dinner. I set the dining table. Used the good plates. The ones with the gold trim that my mother gave me when I got married. I put fresh flowers in the center. Yellow roses. My favorites. Then I sat down and waited. 1 hour passed. Then 2. Then 3. I kept glancing at my phone. Still nothing. At noon I called Maria. It went straight to voicemail. I called Timothy. Same thing. Voicemail. I made lunch for myself. Sandwich I barely ate. Kept looking at the door. Kept hoping I would hear a knock. Kept imagining their faces when they walked in. But the door never opened. At 4 in the afternoon I opened my laptop. I do not know why. Maybe I needed to see their faces even if they were not here. Maybe I needed proof that they were okay. That they were alive. That they just forgot. I went to Maria's social media page. And there it was. Photo posted 3 hours ago. Maria at a fancy brunch place downtown. One of those expensive spots with the long waiting lists. She was smiling. Wearing a new dress. Timothy was there too. His wife. His kids. Maria's husband. Her kids. Everyone looked happy. The table was full of food. Mimosas. Pancakes. Everything. The caption said, "Perfect Mother's Day brunch with the best people." I read that line 5 times. 10 times. 20 times. The best people. I looked at every face in that photo. My grandchildren. My daughter. My son. All of them together. Having the perfect Mother's Day. Without me. I was not in that photo. I was not at that brunch. I was not one of the best people. I looked around my empty house. At the table I had set. At the cookies that were getting stale. At the flowers that seemed to be wilting already. At the phone that never rang. Something broke inside me. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just a small crack. Like ice breaking on a frozen lake. Quiet but permanent. This was not the first time. Last year they forgot too. Maria sent a text at 11 at night. Said, "Sorry mom. Crazy day. Love you." Just like that. 3 sentences. 10 seconds to type. Then nothing. The year before that they promised to visit. I bought a whole ham. Made all their favorite sides. Set the table for 8 people. Waited from noon until 6 in the evening. Then Maria called. She said something came up. She did not say what. Just that they could not make it. Maybe next time. Put all the food away. Ate dinner alone. Cried a little. Then told myself next year would be different. But it was not different. It was worse. Because this year they did not even pretend to forget. They just celebrated without me. Together. As a family. Just not with me. I could not sleep that night. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling trying to remember when I became invisible to them. Was it gradual or sudden? Did I miss the exact moment when I stopped mattering? I thought about all the years I spent raising them alone after their father left. I was 28 when he walked out. Maria was 7. Timothy was 4. He said he was not ready to be a father, that he needed to find himself. I never heard from him again. I worked 2 jobs, sometimes 3. I cleaned offices at night, worked retail during the day, took weekend shifts whenever I could. I wore shoes with holes in them so Maria could have new sneakers for school. I ate cereal for dinner so Timothy could have meat on his plate. I gave up everything. Everything. I paid for Maria's college. Every single penny. She wanted to go to that expensive school across the state. Took out loans. Worked extra hours. Sold my wedding ring. The only valuable thing I had left. But she got to go. She graduated. Got a good job. And now she was too busy for me. Timothy wanted to start a business. He needed money. $10,000. I gave it to him. I took a second mortgage on my house. The house I had almost paid off. The house that was supposed to be mine free and clear. But he needed help. So I helped. His business failed after 2 years. He never paid me back. Not $1. But I never complained. Never asked for anything in return. Because they were my children. And that is what mothers do. Right. We give. We sacrifice. We love. No matter what. Except somewhere along the way they stopped seeing me as a person. Became just mom. The woman who was always there. Always available. Always ready to help. But never someone who needed anything herself. Never someone with her own life. Her own dreams. Her own pain. The next morning Maria called. Her voice was bright and cheerful. Too cheerful. Hey Mom. How are you? I'm fine. That is good. Hey, sorry about yesterday. We had this whole thing planned and it just got away from us. You know how it is. There it was again. That phrase. You know how it is. As if I should understand. As if it was normal to forget your mother on Mother's Day. As if it was okay. We will make it up to you. Promise. Maybe we can have lunch next week. Hey. Great. Have to run. Kids have soccer. Talk soon. Love you. She hung up. The whole conversation lasted 30 seconds. 30 seconds to check off her obligation. To tell herself she was a good daughter because she called. I sat there with the phone in my hand feeling something I had never felt before. Not sadness. Not anger. Something worse. Emptiness. Like I was just air. Just space. Just nothing. That is when I decided. I was not going to disappear just because they stopped seeing me. I was not going to spend the rest of my life waiting for scraps of attention. I was not going to keep setting tables for people who never came. I was going to do something for myself. Something big. Something that would change my life. I started looking at houses online. Not houses in my city. Houses far away. Near the ocean. I had always loved the ocean. When I was a little girl my grandmother took me to the beach once. Just once. It was the happiest day of my childhood. I remember standing in the waves thinking that one day I would live near the water. That one day I would fall asleep to the sound of the sea. But life happened. Marriage happened. Kids happened. The ocean became just a memory. Just a dream I put away. Now I was taking that dream back out. Dusting it off. Making it real. I searched for days. Looked at hundreds of houses. Small cottages. Beach bungalows. Places with porches and big windows and views of the water. Places where I could start over. Where I could be someone other than the forgotten mother. Then I found it. A small house in a quiet beach town 3 hours away. 2 bedrooms. 1 bathroom. A kitchen that looked out at the ocean. A back deck where I could sit and watch the sunset. It was perfect. Price was high. Very high. $190,000. It was almost all the money I had saved. Money I had been putting away for years. Money I planned to leave to Maria and Timothy when I died. But why should I wait until I am dead? Why should I save everything for them when they could not even remember me on Mother's Day? Why could I not use this money now for myself? The idea felt revolutionary. Almost forbidden. My whole life had been about them. About giving them everything. About making sure they had what they needed. But what about me? What about what I needed? I called the realtor the next day. Her name was Susan. She had a kind voice. Warm and friendly. I want to see the house. Wonderful. When can you come? Tomorrow. I drove 3 hours the next morning. The town was small and quiet. The kind of place where people walked their dogs on the beach and said hello to strangers. The air smelled like salt and freedom. Susan met me at the house. She was about my age with gray hair and a bright smile. She shook my hand and walked me through every room. The house was even better in person. Sunlight poured through the windows. The floors were wood. The walls were white. Everything was simple and clean and peaceful. And through every window I could see the ocean, blue and endless and calling to me. I will take it. Susan laughed. Do you not want to think about it? Talk to your family. Well, this is my decision. Mine alone. We signed the papers 2 weeks later. I transferred the money. All of it. Every penny I had saved. And the house became mine. I did not tell Maria or Timothy. Did not ask their opinion. Did not give them any explanation. Because this was not about them. This was about me. I started packing immediately. Book, photos, the essentials. I was going to move in 1 month. I was going to leave behind this house full of memories. This city where no one saw me. This life that had become too small. But 3 days before I was supposed to move, Susan called. Her voice sounded worried. Elizabeth, the first need to tell you something. What is wrong? I was talking to a friend of mine. She is a lawyer. I told her about your purchase. About you having adult children. And she said something that concerned me. What did she say? She said you need to protect this property legally. She said she has seen cases where children try to claim their elderly parents are not capable of making decisions. Try to take control of their money. Their property. Everything. My heart started beating faster. Why would they do that? Usually for money. Or control. Or because they think they know what is best. But Elizabeth, you need to protect yourself. Just in case. What should I do? Come meet my friend. Her name is Teresa. She can help you. The next day I went to Teresa's office. She was young. Maybe 40. But her eyes were serious and professional. I told her everything. About Maria and Timothy. About how they treated me. About the house. About my fears. Teresa listened without interrupting. She took notes. Nodded at certain parts. When I finished, she leaned back in her chair. Elizabeth, the first, I'm going to be honest with you. What you are describing sounds like the beginning of a pattern. I'm not saying your children will definitely try something. But the signs are there. The emotional distance. The lack of respect. The way they only contact you when they need something. What can I do? First, we document everything. Every conversation. Every text message. Every interaction. Second, we protect this property legally. We create a trust. We make sure that even if someone challenges your mental capacity, you have proof that you were completely sound when you made this decision. And third, we install security cameras. Cameras. If your children show up and try to pressure you or threaten you or manipulate you, we need video evidence. I know it sounds extreme. But trust me. When family fights over money, things can get very ugly very fast. So I did everything Teresa told me. I saved every text message. Recorded phone calls. Kept a journal of every interaction. I had a doctor evaluate me and write a letter confirming I was mentally sound. I had a psychologist do the same. I installed cameras around the new house. Front door. Back door. Living room. Kitchen. Everywhere. I felt paranoid doing all this. Like I was preparing for war. But Teresa kept saying better safe than sorry. Better to have evidence and not need it than need it and not have it. I moved to the beach house on a Tuesday in July. The moving truck came early. 2 men loaded my things. Not much. Just a few boxes. Some furniture. A lifetime packed into one truck. I drove away from my old house without looking back. The 3-hour drive felt like a journey to another world. And when I pulled up in front of my new house and saw the ocean sparkling in the sunlight, I felt something I had not felt in years. Oh, the first few weeks were strange. Learning the new house. Meeting the neighbors. Walking on the beach every morning. Getting used to the sound of the waves at night. It was all different. All new. Mine. I did not tell Maria or Timothy I had moved. I just stopped answering their rare calls immediately. Stopped being available at all times. Stopped being the mother who waited by the phone. 1 month passed. Then 2. Neither of them noticed. Or if they did not care enough to ask where I was. And that told me everything I needed to know. But then one Saturday morning everything changed. I was on the back deck watering my plants when my phone rang. 'Twas Maria. Hey, how have you been? Fine. That is great. Listen, Timothy and I want to come visit you this weekend. We have not seen you in forever. My stomach dropped. Visit me. After months of silence. After years of neglect. Why? 'Cause we miss you. We are your family. Can we not want to see our mother? There was something false in her voice. Something rehearsed. Like she had practiced this conversation. How did you get this address? We went by your old house. The new owners said you moved. We had to do some digging but we found you. So can we come? Tomorrow maybe. Let me think about it. Come on, Mom. Do not be difficult. We are already planning the drive. We will bring lunch. Make a day of it. See you tomorrow around noon. She hung up before I could say no. Before I could stop her. Before I could protect myself. Called Teresa immediately. Told her what happened. Do not let them in the house alone. Make sure the cameras are on. And I am coming there. I want to be present. Susan came too. Both of them arrived that night. We sat in the living room and waited. Waited for whatever was coming. The next day at exactly noon a car pulled up. Expensive. Black. Maria got out first. Then Timothy. Then a man I did not recognize. He wore a suit. Carried a briefcase. Looked official. Who is that? Asked. If I had to guess, Teresa said that is a lawyer. My children brought a lawyer. To visit me. On a Sunday. They knocked on the door. Opened it. Maria walked in first without being invited. She looked around at everything. My house. My ocean view. My new life. This place is amazing. You did not tell us you moved to the beach. You did not ask. Timothy came in next. Barely looked at me. Just walked straight to the windows and stared at the ocean. Then the man in the suit entered. Mrs. Peters. My name is David Foster. I am an attorney. I represent your children. There it was. The truth. They had not come to visit. They had come with a lawyer. Teresa stood up. I am Teresa Morales. Mrs. Peters' attorney. And I would like to know exactly why you are here. Maria's face changed. Confusion. Then anger. Attorney. Mom, why do you have an attorney? That is a good question, Maria. Why would your mother need an attorney? Is there something she needs to be protected from? David cleared his throat. Mrs. Peters, we are here because your children are concerned about you. They have learned that you recently made a large financial purchase. You bought this house. You spent almost all your savings. And they are worried that perhaps you were not in the right state of mind to make such a significant decision. Not in the right state of mind. My voice came out sharper than I intended. What my clients mean is that they are worried someone may have taken advantage of you. Convinced you to buy this house when it was not in your best interest. No one took advantage of me. I found this house myself. I decided to buy it myself. I used my own money. Susan stepped forward. I am Susan Wright. I sold Mrs. Peters this house. And I can assure you no one manipulated her. She came to me. She asked all the right questions. She made an informed and independent decision. And who are you to her? Timothy said, his voice cold. A stranger. And now you are here defending her against her own family. I am here because your mother asked me to be here. Because apparently she knew you were coming and she knew she would need support. This is insane. Maria said. Mom, tell these people to leave. We need to talk as a family. Well, I stay. And you're going to tell me why you are really here. David opened his briefcase. Pulled out papers. Official-looking documents with lots of words. Mrs. Peters, your children have prepared these documents for your protection. They would transfer ownership of this house into a trust. A trust managed by your children. This way you could continue living here, but they would ensure that no one else tries to take advantage of you in the future. A trust managed by them. Teresa's voice was ice. You are asking her to give you control of her house. Not control. Protection. Maria said quickly. We just want to make sure you are safe, Mom. That you are taken care of. Taken care of? Where were you on Mother's Day? Where were you on my birthday? Where were you when I actually needed you? Mom, do not start with that again. Where were you? I repeated. My voice was rising. Where were you when I was alone? When I was waiting for you? When I needed my family? Silence. Neither of them answered. 'Cause they could not. Because the truth was too ugly. I looked at those papers in David's hands. Looked at my children's faces. And I saw them clearly for the first time in years. They were not here out of love. They were here out of greed. They wanted my house. They wanted my money. They wanted control. Teresa took the papers from David. She read through them quickly. Her face got harder with each page. This is unbelievable, she said finally. Elizabeth, if you sign this, you would lose all rights to this property. Your children would have complete control. They could sell it. They could evict you. They could do whatever they wanted and you would have no say. That is not true, David started to say. It is exactly true. Teresa cut him off. This trust gives them total authority. And the clause about medical necessity is so broad they could justify anything. You are twisting our words. Timothy said. This is all for Mom's protection. We are trying to help her. Help me. You have not helped me in years. You have not even called me. But now that I have something valuable, suddenly you care. We have always cared. Maria's voice broke. We are your children. Then act like it. Like you love me. Like I matter. Do not show up with lawyers and documents trying to take the one thing that is mine. The room went silent. Heavy with truth. With years of pain finally spoken out loud. David tried again. Mrs. Peters, if you sign these papers today, your children commit to visiting you once a month. To calling you weekly. To including you in family events. Everyone benefits. I stared at him. You are bribing me. You are offering me love in exchange for my house. You are putting a price on their affection. It is not a bribe. It is a compromise. Maria said. It is disgusting. That is what it is. Timothy stood up. His face was red. You have always been selfish, Mom. Always. Everything always has to be about you. We could never do enough. Could never make you happy. And now you are playing the victim again. Selfish. I worked 3 jobs to raise you. I gave up everything. I sold my wedding ring to pay for your sister's college. I mortgaged my house for your business. I gave you everything I had. But I am selfish. You never let us forget it either. Always throwing it in our faces. Always reminding us how much you sacrificed. I do not need to remind you. You know what I did. You just choose to forget. This is pointless, David said. Mrs. Peters, my clients are prepared to take further action if necessary. They are concerned about your mental capacity. They believe you may not be competent to manage your own affairs. Teresa stepped between us. Are you threatening my client? Because if you are, I should inform you that this entire conversation is being recorded. Every word. Every threat. Recorded. Maria's face went pale. She looked around. Saw the cameras. You are recording us. This is my house. I can record whatever I want in my own home. This is illegal, David said. Actually, it is not. Teresa smiled. This is private property in a one-party consent state. Completely legal. And this recording will be very useful if your clients decide to pursue any legal action. David's face changed. He grabbed his briefcase. I think we are done here. We are done, said. All of you need to leave. Maria's voice was pleading. Please, just listen to us. Have listened. For months. For years. I listened to your excuses. Your promises. All lies. I am done listening. Get out. You are going to regret this. Timothy said. His voice was ugly. When you are old and sick and alone, do not come crying to us. I would rather be alone than surrounded by people who only want my money. Now leave. Before I call the police. They left. David first. Then Timothy. Maria stopped at the door. She looked at me one last time. Her face was full of something I could not quite read. Anger. Hatred maybe. I hope you are happy, she said. I hope this house was worth losing your family. I did not lose my family. You were never my family. Not really. Family does not forget you. Family does not abandon you. Family does not show up with lawyers trying to steal from you. You stopped being my family years ago. I just finally accepted it. The door closed. I heard the car start. Drive away. And then it was just silence. Just me and Susan and Teresa in my little house by the ocean. I sat down. My legs were shaking. My whole body was shaking. Susan put her arm around me. You did the right thing. Then why does it hurt so much? Because they are still your children. Even when they do not deserve to be. Cried that night. Cried for the children I raised. For the mother I used to be. For all the years I spent hoping they would love me the way I loved them. But I also cried with relief. 'Cause it was finally over. The pretending. The hoping. The waiting. It was done. 2 weeks later I received a certified letter. From David Foster's law office. I opened it with trembling hands. Maria and Timothy were suing me. They were petitioning the court to declare me mentally incompetent. To appoint themselves as my legal guardians. To take control of everything. I called Teresa. She was not surprised. I expected this. They are desperate. And desperate people do stupid things. But Elizabeth, we are ready. We have evidence. We have medical reports. We have the video. We have everything we need to fight this. When is the hearing? 6 weeks. Those 6 weeks were the longest of my life. Teresa prepared me. Coached me on what to say. What to wear. How to behave. We gathered more evidence. More witnesses. More proof that I was completely sound. Susan agreed to testify. So did my doctor. My neighbors. Even the cashier at the grocery store who saw me every week. All of them ready to say that I was fine. That I was normal. That I was capable. The day of the hearing arrived. I wore a simple blue suit. Did my hair neatly. Wore minimal makeup. Teresa said I needed to look competent. Stable. Boring even. We arrived at the courthouse early. The courtroom was cold and intimidating. High ceilings. Dark wood. A judge's bench that seemed a mile high. Maria and Timothy arrived with David. They did not look at me. Did not acknowledge me. Just sat on their side of the courtroom like we were strangers. The judge entered. An older man with gray hair and tired eyes. The clerk called the case. Maria Wallace and Timothy Peters versus Elizabeth Peters. Petition for declaration of incompetence. David stood up first. He spoke in that smooth lawyer voice. Confident and practiced. Your Honor, we are here today because 2 loving children are concerned for their mother's welfare. Elizabeth Peters recently made an extremely poor financial decision. She spent her entire life savings on a beach house she does not need. This impulsive purchase suggests a lack of judgment. Cognitive decline. My clients simply want to ensure their mother is protected. He called witnesses. Maria first. She cried on the stand. Fake tears that made me sick. She talked about how I had changed. How I was forgetful. Confused. How I made rash decisions without thinking. Then Timothy. He was more direct. Said I was stubborn. Irrational. That I had always been difficult but now it was worse. That I needed help whether I wanted it or not. David even tried to call a psychiatrist who had never met me. Someone who reviewed the case and supposedly saw signs of dementia. Teresa objected immediately. The judge agreed. The psychiatrist could not testify. Then it was our turn. Teresa stood up. And she was magnificent. Your Honor, what we have here is not a case of incompetence. It is a case of 2 adult children trying to steal from their mother. Plain and simple. And I am going to prove it. She played the video first. The entire conversation from that Sunday. Every word. Every threat. every manipulation. The judge watched without expression. But I could see his jaw tighten. Could see his hands grip the bench. Then Teresa showed the text messages. Call logs. The documented pattern of neglect. In the last year, Maria contacted her mother 4 times. Timothy 3 times. Neither visited even once. Until they learned about the house. She called me to the stand. I was terrified. My hands were shaking. But I walked up there and I sat down and I told the truth. Teresa asked me why I bought the house. I explained. Clearly. About the years of being invisible. About Mother's Day. About finally choosing myself. David tried to trip me up during cross-examination. Asked me detailed questions trying to catch me in confusion. But I answered everything. Remembered everything. Proved I was sharp. Alert. Capable. Then Teresa called the witnesses. Susan testified about the buying process. About how thorough I was. How many questions I asked. How carefully I made the decision. My doctor testified. Showed test results proving I had no cognitive decline. That my mind was sharp. My memory excellent. The psychologist testified. Explained that my decision was not impulsive but healthy. That choosing myself over toxic family relationships showed emotional maturity. Not mental illness. By the end, the evidence was overwhelming. Teresa's closing statement was powerful. Your Honor, Elizabeth Peters is not incompetent. She is courageous. She spent her entire life giving everything to her children. And when they could not even remember her on Mother's Day, she decided enough was enough. She bought herself a house by the ocean. Place where she could finally be happy. And her children cannot stand it. Not because they are worried about her. But because they wanted that money. They wanted their inheritance now. So they invented this story of incompetence. But as we have proven today, it is just that. Story. Lie. And an attempted theft. The judge reviewed his notes for what felt like forever. The courtroom was silent. Just the sound of pages turning. Finally he looked up. Have heard enough. And I have made my decision. The petition for incompetence is denied. Completely and entirely. Mrs. Elizabeth Peters is clearly in full possession of her mental faculties. She made an informed and responsible decision with her own money. And she has every right to live her life as she chooses without interference from her children. I felt the air rush back into my lungs. Felt tears in my eyes. But I did not cry. Not yet. The judge continued. Furthermore, I find this lawsuit to be frivolous and motivated purely by financial gain. The plaintiffs will pay all court costs. And I am issuing a restraining order. Maria Wallace and Timothy Peters are prohibited from contacting their mother unless she initiates contact first. Any violation will result in immediate legal consequences. He banged the gavel. Court dismissed. Teresa hugged me. Susan cried. And I just sat there trying to process what had happened. I had won. Not just the case, but my freedom, my life, myself. Maria and Timothy left without a word. Did not look at me. Did not apologize. Just left. And I never heard from them again. That was 2 years ago. 2 years since I bought this house. 2 years since I chose myself. 2 years since I stopped being invisible. My life now is quiet. Simple. Beautiful. I wake up every morning to the sound of waves. I walk on the beach every afternoon. I watch the sunset from my deck every evening. I've made friends here. Real friends. People who see me. Who value me. Who choose me. Susan and I have coffee every week. We talk about everything. About life. About pain. About healing. She has become the sister I never had. I volunteer at the local library. I take painting classes. I joined a book club. I am learning to play piano. 67 years old, I am learning new things. Discovering who I am when I am not just Mom. When I am just Elizabeth. Sometimes I think about Maria and Timothy. I wonder if they think about me. If they regret what they did. If they ever loved me at all. But mostly I do not think about them. 'Cause they made their choice. And I made mine. Emma writes to me sometimes. Maria's daughter. My granddaughter. She is 14 now. She sends letters in secret, tells me about school, about her dreams, about how she wants to be strong like me. I write back. I tell her the truth, about choosing yourself, about not accepting crumbs, about knowing your worth. One day she will be old enough to visit me. And when she does, I will be here, with open arms, and a heart full of love. The kind of love that does not need to be earned. The kind of love that just is. I have learned so much in these 2 years. I learned that it is okay to walk away from people who hurt you, even if they are family, especially if they are family, because family should not hurt you. Family should lift you up. And if they do not, then maybe they are not really family at all. I learned that it is never too late to start over. That 67 is not too old to build a new life. That age is just a number, and the only thing that matters is whether you are living or just existing. I learned that choosing yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. It is survival. It is the most important thing you can do. And I learned that forgiveness does not mean reconciliation. I can forgive Maria and Timothy for what they did. I can let go of the anger. But I do not have to let them back into my life. I can forgive from a distance. I can wish them well without wanting to be near them. This morning I sat on my deck watching the sunrise. The sky was pink and orange and gold. The ocean was calm. The air was fresh. And I felt grateful. Truly deeply grateful. Grateful for this house. For this life. For this peace. Grateful for having the courage to leave. Grateful for being alive. For being free. For being me. Sometimes people in town ask me if I have children. I used to say yes. Used to explain about Maria and Timothy. But now I just smile and say no. Not anymore. Because they are not my children. Not in the ways that matter. They are just people I used to know. People I used to love. People who taught me the hardest lesson of all. That you cannot make someone love you. You cannot beg for affection. You cannot sacrifice yourself into being valued. Love is either freely given or it is not love at all. And what Maria and Timothy felt for me was not love. It was obligation, resentment, greed, but not love. I am okay with that now. Took a long time. A lot of tears. A lot of grief. But I am okay. Because I have something better than their love. Have my own. I love myself enough to walk away. To protect myself. To choose happiness over acceptance. And that love is worth more than anything they could have given me. So if you are reading this, if you are listening to my story, and you see yourself in it, I want to tell you something. You deserve better. You deserve to be seen. To be valued. To be loved. Really truly loved. Not just on holidays. Not just when it is convenient. But always. And if the people in your life cannot give you that, if they make you feel invisible, if they treat you like an obligation, then maybe it is time to walk away. Choose yourself. To build a life that is yours alone. It is scary. No. It is the hardest thing I ever did. Walking away from my own children. Accepting that they did not love me the way I needed to be loved. Choosing loneliness over mistreatment. But I am not lonely anymore. Not really. 'Cause I have me. And that is enough. More than enough. It is everything. This house by the ocean is not just a house. It is proof. Proof that I mattered. That I was worth saving. That I deserved beauty and peace and happiness. Every morning when I wake up and hear the waves, I remember. Chose this. Chose me. And it was the best decision I ever made. Mother's Day is next week. I will spend it alone. But I will not be lonely. I will make myself a nice breakfast. I will walk on the beach. I will sit on my deck and watch the sunset. And I will celebrate. Not them. Not what they did to me. Not the family I lost. I will celebrate me. The woman who survived. The woman who chose herself. The woman who built a life worth living. Because that is the real gift. Not the house. Not the ocean view. Not the peace and quiet. The real gift is knowing my worth. Understanding that I deserve good things. Accepting that I am enough just as I am. For so many years I measured my value by how much my children needed me. When they stopped needing me, I thought I had no value at all. I thought I was nothing without them. But I was wrong. I was always something. I was always someone. I just forgot. This house reminded me. Every sunrise reminds me. Every wave that crashes on the shore reminds me. I am Elizabeth Peters. I am 67 years old. I survived a broken marriage. I raised 2 children alone. I worked myself to the bone. I sacrificed everything. And I am still here. Still standing. Still living. Still worthy. My story is not unique. I know that. There are thousands of mothers out there feeling exactly what I felt. Invisible. Forgotten. Taken for granted. Wondering when they became so easy to ignore. Wondering what they did wrong. But you did nothing wrong. If you are one of those mothers, I need you to hear this. You did nothing wrong. You loved. You gave. You sacrificed. And if your children do not see that, if they do not value that, if they cannot be bothered to remember you on Mother's Day or your birthday or any day at all, that is not your failure. It is theirs. You cannot control how they treat you. But you can control how you treat yourself. You can choose to keep waiting for crumbs. Or you can walk away and bake your own cake. You can keep setting tables for people who never show up. Or you can set a table just for you with your favorite foods and your best dishes, and you can celebrate yourself. It is not selfish. It is not wrong. It is not giving up. It is waking up. It is seeing clearly. It is choosing life over slow death by neglect. I know it is hard. I know it hurts. I know there will be people who judge you, who say you are being dramatic, who say family is family and you should forgive and forget and keep trying. But those people do not live your life. They do not feel your pain. They do not know what it is like to be invisible in your own family. Only you know. And only you can decide when enough is enough. Only you can decide what you will accept, what you deserve, what you will fight for. I fought for this house, for this life, for this peace. And I won. Not because I had money or lawyers or cameras. I won because I finally believed I was worth fighting for. And that belief changed everything. Last week I was at the farmer's market. I was buying tomatoes from a woman named Rosa. She was about my age. Maybe a little older. We got to talking. She asked me if I had children. I said I used to, but not anymore. She looked at me with these sad, knowing eyes. Too, she said. Too. We sat at a bench near the ocean. And she told me her story. 3 children. None of them called. None of them visited. She spent every holiday alone. Every birthday alone. She said she felt like a ghost. Like she was already dead, but her body had not figured it out yet. I told her my story. About the house. About the lawsuit. About choosing myself. She cried. Not sad tears. Relief tears. You mean I can just leave? She asked. I can just walk away. Yes, you can. You should. But what will people say? Who cares what people say? Do those people call you? Do they visit you? Do they love you? Well, so why do their opinions matter? She smiled. It was the first real smile I had seen on her face. You are right. You are absolutely right. 2 days ago Rosa called me. She found an apartment. Affordable. Near the beach. She is moving next month. She sounded happy. Truly happy. Like she had been holding her breath for years and finally remembered how to breathe. That is what I want for you. If you are trapped in a family that does not see you, that does not value you, that treats you like an obligation or a burden or an afterthought, I want you to remember how to breathe. I want you to leave. Choose yourself. To build a life that makes you happy. You do not need permission. You do not need approval. You just need courage. And I know you have it. Because you survived this long. You gave this much. You loved this hard. That takes incredible strength. Now use that strength for yourself. Start small if you need to. Set boundaries. Stop being available every time they need something. Stop giving money you cannot afford to give. Stop waiting by the phone. Stop making excuses for them. And if they get angry, if they accuse you of being selfish or difficult or mean, let them. Their anger is not your responsibility. Their feelings are not your problem. You spent years managing their emotions. taking care of their needs, sacrificing your happiness for theirs. You do not owe them one more second of your peace. Save your money. Make a plan. Find a place that makes you happy. Does not have to be a beach house. Can be a small apartment in the city, cottage in the mountains, condo near your favorite park, anywhere that feels like yours, anywhere that gives you peace. And then go. Just go. Do not wait for them to approve. Do not wait for them to understand. Do not wait for them to change. They will not change. People rarely do, especially when changing means admitting they were wrong, admitting they hurt you, admitting they failed you. So stop waiting. Stop hoping. Stop believing that if you just love them enough they will finally love you back. That is not how it works. Love is not something you earn. It is something freely given. And if your children do not give it freely, then it is not real love anyway. I wasted so many years trying to earn their love, trying to be good enough, trying to be less needy, less demanding, less visible. I made myself smaller and smaller hoping they would finally see me. But the smaller I became, the easier I was to ignore. Now I am big again. Take up space. Have opinions. Have needs. I have a whole life that is mine and mine alone. And I am not apologizing for it. Not to them. Not to anyone. You should not apologize either. For wanting to be loved. For expecting basic respect. For needing more than crumbs. These are not unreasonable demands. These are basic human needs. And you deserve to have them met. If your family cannot meet them, then find people who can. Build a chosen family. Join clubs. Take classes. Volunteer. Meet people who see you. Who value you. Who show up. I promise they exist. Found them. Rosa found them. You will find them too. Might take time. Might be uncomfortable at first. You might feel guilty. You might miss your children even though they do not deserve to be missed. That is normal. That is okay. Feel it. Process it. But do not let it stop you. Because on the other side of that guilt and that grief and that fear is something beautiful. Freedom. Real freedom. The freedom to live your life on your terms. To wake up happy. To go to bed peaceful. To spend your days doing things you love with people who love you back. That is what I have now. And it is worth everything I lost. It is worth the pain of walking away. Worth the loneliness of the first few months. Worth the judgment from people who did not understand. Worth all of it. My house is small, but it is mine. My life is quiet, but it is peaceful. My days are simple, but they are full. Full of sunrises and ocean walks and good books and new friends and laughter and joy. Real joy. The kind I had not felt in decades. This is what I wish for you. This freedom. This peace. This joy. You deserve it. No matter what your children say. No matter what anyone says. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be loved. And if the people who should love you refuse to do it, then love yourself. Love yourself enough to leave. Love yourself enough to start over. Love yourself enough to demand better. 'Cause you are worth it. You are valuable. You are important. You matter. Even if your children forgot. Even if they stop seeing you. Even if they treat you like you are nothing. You are not nothing. You are everything. You are a survivor. A warrior. A woman who gave everything and is still standing. So stand tall. Walk away if you need to. Build something new. Build something better. Build a life that celebrates you every single day. Not just on Mother's Day. Not just when it is convenient. But always. That is my gift to myself. My presence. My peace. My happiness. Every single day. And no one can take that from me. Not Maria. Not Timothy. Not anyone. This Mother's Day I will wake up in my house by the ocean. I will make my favorite breakfast. I will sit on my deck with my coffee and watch the waves. I will feel the sun on my face. I will breathe the salt air. And I will smile. 'Cause I am free. 'Cause I chose myself. Because I finally understand that I was always enough. And so are you. Remember that. You are enough. Just as you are. Right now. You do not need to do more or be more or give more. You are already enough. You always were. Some people just could not see it. But that is their blindness. not your failure. So open your eyes. See yourself clearly. See your strength. See your worth. See your beauty. And then make a choice. Stay or go. Accept or demand better. Wait or walk away. Whatever you choose, make sure it is your choice. Not theirs. Not society's. Not what you think you should do. But what you actually want. What you actually need. What will actually make you happy. For me it was this house. This ocean. This new life. For you it might be something different. But whatever it is, I hope you find it. Hope you choose it. I hope you fight for it the way I fought for mine. 'Cause you deserve to be happy. You deserve to be free. You deserve to live a life that is yours and yours alone. A life that makes you smile every morning when you wake up. A life that fills you with peace every night when you go to sleep. That is the life I have now. At 67 years old. After losing almost everything. After being betrayed by the people I loved most. After fighting the hardest battle of my life. I have this life. This beautiful, peaceful, joyful life. And if I can have it, so can you. No matter how old you are. No matter how tired you are. No matter how impossible it seems. You can do this. You can choose yourself. You can start over. You can build something beautiful from the ashes of what you lost. So do it. Please do it. Do not wait. Do not hope things will magically get better. Do not keep sacrificing yourself for people who will never appreciate it. Just do it. Choose you. Choose happiness. Choose life. And one day, maybe years from now, maybe sooner, you will wake up in your own place, your own space, your own life, and you will feel what I feel every single morning. Gratitude is freedom. That is my wish for you. That is my prayer for you. That is what I want every mother out there who feels invisible to know. You can leave. You should leave. And on the other side of leaving is everything you have been searching for. Yourself. That is the real gift. Not a house. Not material things. But yourself. Your true self. The woman you were before you became a mother. The woman you are beyond that role. The woman who has dreams and desires and needs and worth. That woman is still in there. Still waiting. Still hoping you will choose her. Chose her. I chose Elizabeth. Not just mom. Not just the woman who gives and sacrifices and disappears. But Elizabeth. The woman who loves the ocean. Who reads poetry. Who laughs loudly. Who takes up space. Who demands respect. Who knows her value. That is who I am now. And I am never going back. Never making myself small again. Never waiting for crumbs again. Never accepting less than I deserve again. This is my promise to myself. My commitment. My vow. I will honor myself the way I once honored them. I will protect myself the way I once protected them. I will love myself the way I always loved them, but they never loved me back. And that love is enough. My love for myself is enough to sustain me. Fill me. To make my life beautiful and meaningful and worth living. I do not need their love anymore. I do not need their approval. I do not need anything from them. 'Cause I have me. And I am finally enough. So this Mother's Day I celebrate myself. The mother I was. The woman I am. The survivor I became. I celebrate my courage. My strength. My choice. I celebrate walking away. Starting over. Building something new. I celebrate this house. This ocean. This life. This peace. This freedom. This joy. Celebrate me. And I hope you celebrate you too. Whoever you are. Wherever you are. Whatever you are going through. I hope you choose yourself. I hope you walk away. I hope you build something beautiful. I hope you find peace. 'Cause you deserve it. You deserve everything. And it is never too late. Never too late to start over. Never too late to choose happiness. Never too late to choose you. Remember that. Please remember that. You are worth it. You matter. You deserve better. And you have the power to create better. Right now. Today. This moment. So do it. Take the first step. Make the plan. Choose yourself. And never look back. Because the life waiting for you on the other side is worth every painful step it takes to get there. You know. 'Cause I am living it. And it is the most beautiful life I have ever known.